Hi, my name's Adrienne Gordon, and I'm the president and co-founder of Pricing Empowered LLC and www.pricingempowered.com. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. Pricing Empowered LLC was founded under one truth. Companies that do strategic pricing well are more profitable and therefore create greater wealth for their shareholders, their employees, and for the economy. With our unique background and experience, we've seen this live in action, and for that reason, we are passionate. From my personal experience, I've been very lucky. I started out in strategic pricing in 1999 working for a company called Parker Hannifin. Parker Hannifin is a Fortune 500 conglomerate of manufacturers and distributors. I was asked to do a pilot for strategic pricing at the time, and after 8 months of showing the incredible gains of doing strategic pricing well, I was asked to take on the project management of a global corporate initiative. That allowed me to work with over 120 companies around the globe. I was able to help them understand what strategic pricing was, build the tools, the training, the techniques to execute and operationalize it in the organizations. At Parker, it was successful enough in 2007, it was profiled on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. After some of the successes at Parker Hannifin, I was able to get a taste of retail pricing, taking on the director of pricing position at American Greetings. There, I was able to execute a multi-phase pricing research project, which resulted in the re-architecture of how greeting cards were value priced. Feeling my true calling was industrial, I went back to the industrial marketing world and worked for Eaton Corporation for a while as an internal pricing consultant. New industries, new companies with similar pricing problems. I was able to understand that there is a common thread in what the process should be to get pricing to a level of excellence. Finding my true calling 3 years ago, I started doing external consulting. I've been able to consult with many companies in a wide range of industries and products. And you can see some of the pictures here, just a few examples of the types of companies that I've been able to work with. Wide ranges of industries and products, a wide range of currencies, cultures, in environments where transfer pricing is an issue and duties and tariffs. This very unique background has allowed me to really see who and what business processes have really worked. And it's my passion now to share that with you. And that's what www.pricingempowered is about. So why should you take this seriously? This is one of my favorite studies I've ever seen. It was done by the Monitor Group in 2009. The Monitor Group is a very well-known, well-respected consultancy with a pricing practice. And in their study, they asked over 200 companies some questions about pricing. Specifically, what they were trying to determine if the company had a value-based pricing strategy and what their capability was of actually executing that strategy. And the results shouldn't surprise you. What they found was companies who actually articulated a value-based pricing strategy and were capable of executing on it had on average an 11% net operating profit advantage over their peers. And those that did it the best had a 24% net operating profit advantage over their peers. So it's our passion to not only help you design the strategies in your business that reflect the value you create, but to give you the tools required to actually execute them in the market. So one of the issues you might find as you're trying to learn about strategic pricing is it seems like there's no standardization in the way companies talk about what value-based pricing is, what strategic pricing is, what price optimization is. Well, this is our position of what all those words mean. Value-based pricing in its purest form is a difficult exercise of quantifying value versus reference points for every situation in any commercial opportunity you may have. In most cases, that's not practical. Strategic pricing, however, is the closest thing that is practical. And in our position, strategic pricing is value-based pricing, where one uses an ongoing continuous improvement process to zero in on an optimal target price over time. It is our position that there's 4 steps in this continuous improvement process. Pricing Empowered will help you understand what are the best practices in each of these 4 and how can you bring them to your organization. The first step we call strategy is simply segmentation of your business. It's understanding where you can discriminate pricing because you have different value associated with it. Typically, you'll be segmenting your customers, your products, your transaction types. And through that effort, that strategic effort, then you need to bring the prices to the market. And that's step 2, execution. We will help you understand where you're executing, where you're not executing, and give you the tools to help make sure that those prices that you derive in your segmentation strategy actually get to market. Step 3 is pricing analytics. In pricing analytics, sometimes you may find places that inform segmentation, but in many cases, this is a measurement activity. This is understanding if your strategy was ever right. Was your segmentation correct? Was the actual target prices that you put and assigned to every segment, were they right? And in the analytics, you'll learn that there's some places that need to be changed. It's a dynamic process, and that informs optimization. This is our opinion of what strategic pricing is. It's the process that we use with our clients, and it is the process that we will be using through our training on www.pricingempowered.com. It comes down to 5 questions, in our opinion. As you're building this process, you probably have a few obstacles, maybe one obstacle, holding you back from really building momentum on this continuous improvement process. And it's our experience that companies just simply addressing one of these 5 questions, or whatever questions on this list that are causing the problem, have at least 2 to 4 points of operating profit available to them. The first problem we see is very common, is that price is misaligned with the financial strategy of the company. This is typical for companies that have potentially a sales force with pricing power, the ability to negotiate on the fly, yet no pricing information. So they're not given concrete evidence of what their value is versus their competition. And so the simple question that needs to be answered here is, how does your pricing strategy support your financial strategy? Likewise, another problem we see a lot is where price is misaligned with a commercial strategy. This is typical in organizations where price has been internally managed with little input from marketing or sales. And typically, this is an environment where price is derived through estimation with some sort of margin applied on top of a cost. So the simple question these organizations need to answer is, how does your pricing strategy align with your sales and marketing strategy? We also see companies that have no apparent price strategy at all. The question that needs to be asked there is, where do you consistently price discriminate because you have a different value proposition? Price discrimination is good. Price discrimination, where you can define segments that are willing to pay different prices because you're creating different value, will help you optimize your profit. Another common problem we see is pricing strategy never getting to invoice. This is typical for organizations that may have a strong product management organization that architect list prices against value in a very logical way. And yet the sales force is not given specific guidance on what customers need deeper discounts or under what situations. The question that needs to be answered there is how often, to whom, and on what do you intentionally deviate from your pricing strategy? And finally, the last question we see most companies need to answer is based on the problem that pricing strategy never gets to pocket. A very common term in strategic pricing is pocket price, the price that actually ends up in your pocket at the end of the day. And the reason why the price that gets in your pocket is different than invoice is there's a lot of non-traditional price elements that you may not consider, such as rebates, freight allowances, terms. The question that companies need to answer to ensure that their pricing is getting to their pocket is how often, to whom, and in what ways do you give back profit dollars after you invoice? We have a goal to help your organization answer these questions, understand specifically how to extract this information from your executive teams, and build consensus in your organization so there is a common vision for which pricing can support. So our commitment to you, Pricing Empowered is a pricing consulting firm. That being said, we're not just committed to a single client project here and there. Our commitment is to support the maturity of the strategic pricing function across the globe. Through PricingEmpowered.com, we hope to provide access to the necessary pricing tools, training, strategy support, and expertise that you're required to get to progress in the pricing journey. We would like to see all progressive companies have access to strategic pricing fundamentals. We recognize that pricing consulting engagements can be very expensive. And so through this website, we hope to give you a better playing field with your larger competitors. And finally, our message may be unique, but we really believe strategic pricing is about fairness. It's not just about greed and raising prices. Because companies that do strategic pricing well have peer customers on a level playing field. There's not renegade negotiation happening. Prices are not all over the place. Price and value are uniquely aligned. And therefore, we believe strategic pricing is a socially responsible activity, and it's necessary to our economic recovery. So what can you expect from being a member of PricingEmpowered.com? We're committed to put on a weekly webinar series that allows you basic insights to the training that best-in-class companies have access to today. Where appropriate, we'll be adding an addition of a template, a tool, a presentation that you can use within your own organization. We'll also be available for coaching on executive communication. You'll also find that we have a secure forum that's intended to allow you to discuss your pricing issues with peer non-competitive companies that may be facing similar pricing challenges. It's secure in the way that if you sign up, you're required to put in the specific industry code that you participate in. No two companies of the same industry code will ever be in the same forum. The forum will be duplicated and they will be talking to other peers. Our hope is this allows you to feel a little comfort and to be able to talk about your strategy to other companies and share best practices. We also know that we're just a small team of individuals committed to bring strategic pricing to you. There's a lot of great tools out there. There's a lot of great things happening in a lot of organizations. And therefore, we invite you to help us build this community by submitting to us tools, templates, or presentations that you believe have value. If we agree, we'll pay you a commission on your submittal and we'll share it with the community. We'd like you to note that on the website we have a list of our other services, including customized pricing consulting engagements, price management outsourced, our unique workshop, which in 3 days allows you to come in, understand strategic pricing fundamentals, and walk away with actual customer and product price plans with new prices associated with them and financial impacts derived. And finally, our Pricing Kaizen offering, which is an offering that allows us to come in and help kickstart your organization on its pricing journey. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you have a better understanding of what Pricing Empowered is about and what you can expect from us this year. We invite you to contact us with questions, comments, suggestions. We are committed, again, to the pricing community and are open to anything that you would like to provide us. Take care and happy pricing.